Hey, my name is Joseph Betz with Betz Botz, and today I'm going to be walking you through the order form for your very own Betz Botz Combat Robot Kit. So I've got the order form pulled up here, and I'll start by explaining the no electronics option. So with this option, you're going to get drive motors, you're going to get all your armor, and you're going to get a power switch. But you will need to provide the battery, the receiver, the controller, and the drive ESCs, which will control your motors. If you just want something to get in the arena, you're going to want to go with that second option, the budget brushed full setup. And this will get you a battery, this controller, and a board that pairs with this controller. Now that board has a receiver and drive ESCs all in one. The catch is it's not a very good setup to, well, one, drive. It doesn't have variable speed. It's locked into being tank steer, all or nothing. And the other thing is you can't really take that electronics setup and put it into other robots, because if you want to do something like a lifter, flipper, maybe a spinner like this, it's just not going to cut it. So pulling up the form again, if we talk about these options, starting with this bottom one, we'll get you set up with one of these controllers. So this will pair up with a receiver, which goes in the robot, and we'll also throw in a dual ESC. So this is a much nicer electronic setup that'll be able to go into, say, a spinner or a lifter or whatever other robot you decide to build on your own in the future. So this is a setup that, while it costs more up front, will be better in the long run if you plan to stick with the hobby. Now, if you already have your own controller picked out and you just want the drive ESCs, then you're going to want to go with this option. Moving down the list, charger, pretty straightforward. Do you want to be able to charge your batteries or not? You've got to do this, but you can go find a higher end charger on your own, or you can go with one of the cheaper chargers that we provide with the kit, just to get you in the arena. Next up, we have to talk about the attachments on the robot. So this kit is modular, which means that it's meant to switch out parts of the robot. So we've got these fork attachments here, and we've got this wedge attachment, which is standard with the kit. So when you're fighting, actually robots like this, horizontal spinners, you're going to want to use the wedge attachment. It'll deflect them, you'll be able to push them around. And this is a good general purpose attachment. But if you ever really need to get under someone, or you're fighting a vertical spinner, especially drums, you're going to want the forks. And in particular, it's nice to have two sets of forks. One for fighting wedges and control bots so you can keep them sharp and pristine, and another one like this, which is meant for just sending it full speed into drum spinners and vertical spinners and taking a beating. So when we talk about the options for these attachments, the best way to make this kit competitive is to get both. That way you can swap them out back and forth, and you can also save 20% by getting both these attachments right off the bat. If you had to pick between one or the other, the base wedge or the fork upgrade, I would actually go with the forks. For general purpose stuff, I'm running the forks in more matches than the wedge. It's just every time you face a horizontal spinner, can't do the forks. My friend did it, bad idea, bad outcome. So moving down this list, when we talk about assembly, we've got the DIY, do it yourself. You're going to wire the whole thing yourself. You're going to follow our instruction manual to do the mechanical assembly of it. If you just want to do the mechanical assembly but no wiring, we've got an option for you as well. And if you want the whole thing basically ready to run, we've got you covered too. So getting into armor color, this is kind of fun. We've got a lot of different colors for armor color. And what armor color means on one of these robots is, let's say you pick orange, right? It's going to do the wedge, it's going to do the wedge mount, and it's going to do the back cover. Okay, what it's not going to do is your rims. So that is what some of the other options are for. But before we move on from that, I want to discuss this custom nameplate. So we have a 10-character limit for this, but if you want to pay an extra $20 and have the back of your robot say something other than Betz Botz, you can do that. So like we had a robot, they named it Armadillo, so they had Armadillo on the back. It turned out super cool. We can do that for you. So moving on, we've got the rim color, which as you can see highlighted in green, is just the edge of your wheel. So holding that up, maybe you can see how that would, kind of where that would be on one of these wheels. We also have a wheel cap color, so you can do just the center. And I've seen some pretty cool designs, mismatching colors for that. Scrolling down, now we get into our final option, which is the spare parts package. So if you go with none, you're just going to get one of everything you ordered, right? And that's not great because they're combat robots, they break. So a lean setup is going to get you 4 extra wheels and 1 center gear. This can get you through a competition if you're a good driver, you know what you're doing. But chances are you're going to take some more damage, and that's why I recommend the standard setup. It gives you plenty of wheels so that you can make all sorts of driving mistakes and be just fine. It gives you some extra center gears so that if someone manages to get all the way to this center gear, you have a replacement and you're not going to be out of the tournament. It also gives you an extra drive motor. Again, if somebody manages to get all the way to that center gear, it causes a lot of damage. They might mess up your motor shaft. You might burn out a motor if it's stalled. So having an extra motor is really nice sometimes. Now the Competition Pro, if you know what you're doing, this will probably get you through at least 2 competitions. This gives you 12 wheels, this gives you 3 center gears, 8 axles. Oh, I forgot the axles on the last one. Pretty self-explanatory. Someone cuts through your wheel all the way down to the axle, you'll want to replace that too. But this gives you more axles, this gives you more drive motors, this gives you extra back armor, and most importantly, this gives you a huge discount on, well, one, all these parts, but it gives you a huge discount on adding in extra forks. So what I see some people do is they'll do a wedge attachment with the forks, save some money there, and then they'll get the Competition Pro package and get a second set of forks. And that lets you do that thing I was talking about earlier, where you have one set of forks really pristine for fighting wedges, and you have another set of forks that can take a beating. Bottom of the form, I need your name, I need your email. I will take the results of this form and I will email you, I'll email you just to update you on what's going on. If I have any questions, if you were over the character limit on your custom nameplate, right, we'll work all that out. And I'll send you a PayPal invoice, and probably be about a 3-week lead time, and I can get you your very own combat robot. Hope this helps. Please email me if you have any questions. Hope to see you in the arena. Thank you.